Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name's Bob. How's it going tonight? We're just chatting. Although I do hear my. Hello, everybody, and
Yep,
welcome
I
to
hear
Tabletop Bob.
echoes.
My name's
Yep.
Bob.
So I thought if you
How's it
just
going?
when you think that the audio issues are over, they're not. But here we are. I think that's it. I think it was all settled. That was just an echo from my open browser. But um, let me know. Can you hear me? Am I echoing? Do you hear me twice? That was the big problem with last week's stream. So give me an update. I think we fixed it all. So you let me know if you can hear me well, and if it comes in loud and clear. Good, Cam. Thank you. No more echo. Excellent. Um, good. Yeah, I figured it all out. Um, Not to get too technical or into the weeds with it, but I have basically. I think I said this in echo form on Tuesday's Curse Estrad stream that never happened, but um, the audio settings that I usually have, I don't really change ever. I don't tweak them. I've kind of had them running roughly the same for the last 2 years, and then when I ended up getting a Stream Deck and I used voice mod, you know how I'm able to use Yune's voice.
as we're all so fond of.
This voice is through voice mod, an app that you get on the computer. But the easiest way to be able to toggle back and forth using that Stream Deck, just like kind of like pressing buttons and stuff like that, so I don't have to like go into the app and change it every time with my mouse, is just to let all of my audio go through voice mod. And that was the only time I ever changed things. And it was relatively recent, like a year and change ago. But again, I never really update the settings. So once something went wrong, I ended up not being able to figure it out in the moment. And then I thought it was maybe my Zoom settings. So I tweaked those and then had to go backtrack everything I did that night. Luckily, Andrew and Michelle and Stefano were able to stay on and help me. It took us like a good like half hour, 40 minutes, but we got everything sorted out. We did a private test stream, and it all worked out real well. So anyway, that's my long-winded explanation of the audio issues, but they're all cleared up, and I got everything pinned down, written down. You can't go wrong with a good old post-it note. So that's all set in case anything happens. Again, every setting is written down. All right, so how are we doing tonight, everybody? Everybody full from Thanksgiving still? Let's see who's in the chat. We've got Cam, Tasman, D&D, DM Mom is here. Excellent. Good to see all you. Chris from Long Island, practicing my French. Ah, I see where you're getting at here. No, not yet. Not yet. James. James from KC is here. Look at this. You've been a member for 11 months. Wow, that's cool that it like updates that here. That even announces your presence that you've entered into the chat. I love that. Greyhawk Exiles here. 500G Matt, welcome. The ACL. Yeah, my leg is doing all right. I go to physical therapy twice a week, so I feel like that's been a big help. I feel like without the physical therapy, it wouldn't be where I am right now. Walking and pretty much doing any sort of normal day to day task is pretty normal at this point. I don't think I even, yeah, I really don't even think about it on a day to day basis. I'm walking around. The only time I ever think about the ACL is when I'm doing something a little odd, like a leaning or bending over towards one side, my left side maybe, planting it and having to pivot or something. But while from standing, not I'm not really not running, I'm not doing any athletics or anything like that. But it definitely is something I don't typically think about during the week, so it doesn't really affect me. However, starting to do running and other things like that in physical therapy, and that is a little trickier. I do notice the weakness of it when I'm doing something a little more advanced than walking, like little hops or the running drill that we're doing. That feels a little awkward still. We'll see. But yeah, no, crutches and the brace, those are all long gone. Those are in the past. I've been without a crutch or a brace for about a month and a half. More, no more. Since, wow, I was only on the crutches for like 2 weeks, and then the brace was like 5 weeks, and so I got the surgery in August 28th. It's now the end of November. It's 3 months, just over 3 months. So yeah, I've had him off for half the trip, basically, more than half, almost 2/3 of my post surgery time. So pretty good, pretty good. Chris, you're doing PT for your hips. Yeah, I know it. I tell you, PT is actually super important. I didn't realize it, how much it is, but even the rest of my body benefits from the stuff that I'm doing. I feel like I'm just working out. That's really what it is. Let's get some music on in here. We're gonna go some tabletop audio here. I don't know. I want to try something new. We could test some new sounds here. You let me know if you like them. This is a new one from Tabletop Audio. Looks like a possible one. Map Chamber. Let's see. Oh, there's like a pool, a lapping sound. Lapping water. I'll make it a little louder so you can all hear it. If you want, just go to tabletopaudio.com and you can see all the new ones here. Feels a little more sinister than I thought. Okay. Let's try the Undercroft. I think I've played this one before, recently. Skip ahead a little bit. Let's try Hotel Noir. A little more music than I thought. Good Haven. It's like a halfling village, it feels like. And last one here, Hidden Passage, which I think I played before, and this one I like. It's got a little tense strings there in the... Interesting. Oh, Winter Encampment. This one I've played, and it's kind of fitting because it's really cold here in the Northeast. It finally got to winter. Yeah. I like this one. Let's keep this one going for a little bit. I'm going to put it lower because if I'm not mistaken, this is a louder one. Let me know if you can still hear it. Put it at a little lower than normal. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Looking back here, Triple Gert, welcome. I don't recognize the name here. Maybe I don't always look at the chats, but you said I've been running Keep on the Borderlands using your campaign as a guide. Oh, cool. My players love it. So do I. Oh, the next session is the crazy dream scene. That is a... Careful with that one. That'll scar them for life. Everybody still talks about that one. Like all the guys, we still talk about that dream one. Yeah, be careful with that one. And keep me updated. Let me know how it goes. If you'd like to stay up to date on everything and even chat with me and the players, go to Discord. I'm going to do this quick, real stuff. I have a list of things I want to talk about. I know we've just been chatting for a little bit now, but I do have a little bit of an itinerary that I want to get through. But let's get all the YouTube stuff out of the way. This is a live stream. These usually don't get as many views, especially, ones where we're not playing a game. It's kind of like just like a not even a chat about a game. It's just us chatting. So definitely like the video. Comment down below. Let me know at the end, even afterwards. Comment on the video once it's completely done, because then that'll help the algorithm not make a mess of the channel. But then also, like, subscribe, do all the good YouTube things. Do it all. So let's jump into some topics here. So number one, we'll talk about Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is probably my favorite holiday. I mean, that and Christmas, it's really hard to compete with Christmas, but love Thanksgiving. We did the whole family, big Thanksgiving dinners, things like that. Then we made the most out of the weekend. We did a lot of things around the house. We decorated, put up the tree, decorated outside, inside. Hands are freezing from today. Today was brutal. But we did a lot. And one of the things that I love doing every Thanksgiving, which is maybe one of the reasons why it is one of my favorite holidays, is we do a countdown here in New York, in the tri-state area, the Q1043 top 1043 classic rock songs of all time. And that is something that it's very special. I've been listening to it for about 20 years now. Started in 2000, I think, or 2001. And it's just gone every year. They do 1,000 songs, count it down from Wednesday to Sunday night. Normally, I wouldn't do a live stream right now because I'd be listening to that countdown. But they changed the way they did everything this year because Q1043 became the home of the New York Jets. And if you know me, that is the football team that I reluctantly root for. They're terrible this year. They can't win a game to save their life, but they are the home of the Jets, which means that they had to modify the countdown this year. And boy, this bothered me. It started on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Normally starts on Wednesday at around 1. So they started a whole day earlier. I didn't even know it started because in my mind for 20 years I've been listening to it. It's always on Wednesday. So the Tuesday went by completely. Now you might say, okay, well, those are the early songs. Everybody votes for their favorites. That's how it works. You vote for 10 songs, and they count them back. So every year, I vote, take my voting very seriously, and then they play them back and all the way to Sunday night. Sometimes it even spills over into the late hours, the next day, really, early Monday morning. And I love it. It's like a tradition, staying up late, listening to it. My brother and I usually text each other. And, it ended this morning at about 10:30 in the morning before the Jets game because they had to have the Jets game. The pregame, they do the pregame, the game itself, postgame. It's basically like 8 hours dedicated to the Jets. So they stop their music and they do that. So now I had to fit. It was very anticlimactic, really anticlimactic. It ended so early, and of course, Stairway to Heaven won again. I actually have it here. I'm going to show you the full countdown breakdown here. Let's see here. So this is the website, Q1043. You can see top 1043 classic rock songs of all time. You can go through and toggle through each one. They update this throughout the weekend. They just finished updating it a few hours ago with the final number one. So here it goes. Stairway to Heaven has won 24 times now. They have won 24 times in a row every single year. Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven has won. But the number two has been interesting. Number two this year was Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's been the same 1-2 punch for the last 6 years, since 2018. Now, for me, I'm not a crazy Queen fan. I like them, and I think Bohemian Rhapsody is a great song. But for years, up to about 2018, it lingered on the top 10. Like it might have been, in a good year, 9, right? 9 or 10. It's flirted with the top 10. Here or there, it's gotten in. Most of the time, it's in the 11 to 20 range. Then the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out, completely changed everything. Since that movie came out, it's been number 2. This year, 3, surprise here was Hotel California, the best it's ever been. Hotel California, classic. Hey Jude, the Beatles, at the end of an era, Hey Jude has been in the top 3, and it's been 2 the most out of any song in the history of the countdown. Not in the top 3 this year. Hotel California beat it out. And then we've got 2 mainstays of the top 10. These are Layla and Freebird. Freebird is one of my favorite songs. I voted for it. I love Freebird. And it's been 2 a few times, I think twice. But it's been, I'd say in the more recent history, it's been closer to the later end of the top 10. 6 is a typical placing for it. And then you got Gimme Shelter, the Rolling Stones. Definitely, in my opinion, the best Stones song. Kashmir, Led Zeppelin at 8. Baba O'Reilly, The Who at 9. And Comfortably Numb at 10, Pink Floyd. And you can see the rest of them here. Some Let It Be, Sympathy for the Devil, Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. My fave artist of all time, probably. Bruce Springsteen and Metallica. Those are my two favorite musicians. They're all over the countdown. I mean, you can check it all out here. Q1043 if you search it. Not sponsored. All right. Not sponsored. But yeah, so this is a tradition for me, and I was happy to listen to it all weekend long. But, you know, some of the best songs came overnight. You know, songs like 80 through 30 were basically, you know, sleeping hours. So it was kind of annoying. The Jets really ruined everything for me. Yeah. As usual. Let's see here. Yeah, the local classic rock channel's been doing, it's been doing it for a long time. What were your votes, Bob? Me and Stefano want to. Stefano wants to know? Painted Black is the best Stone song, Stefano. Come on now. It's a good song. It's a good song. It's up there. I don't remember if I saw it on the Painted... Oh, here it is. 61. Painted Black was 61. It's impressive. So just to show you how great Painted Black is, 61 is where it placed. 60 was Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. And 62 is Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. So just... every song in the top 100 is just an epic song in its own right. What did I vote for? I actually posted it in our Discord. Actually, I posted my votes in the Hangout section. I think I posted it a week ago. I voted for Freebird. I voted for... I might be forgetting some things now. Freebird, Thunder Road, Bruce Springsteen. I'm just looking at the list, actually, that might help me. In My Life, The Beatles. Crazy on You by Heart. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas. What else did I vote for? The Loadout by Jackson Browne, one of my all-time favorite musicians as well. Love Jackson Browne. Hold on, my wife's helping me remember. She's here now. What else did I vote for? I didn't vote for Billy Joel. You did. My wife voted for Piano Man. But yeah, Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, I love. Oh yeah, The Weight, the band, by the band. I love The Weight. Now I'm forgetting. I might have to go look. But it's 10 songs, and roughly those were 7, I think I just listed off here. But love the countdown. Big fan of the countdown. Let's see here. That's okay, James. Freebird can be overrated. It's definitely been played a lot. I didn't vote for any Kiss songs. My son and both my children love Kiss, but I didn't vote for any Kiss songs. Should have, maybe. It's only 10 songs. You know what songs I actually forgot to vote? I shouldn't say forgot. I chose to vote for other things. I usually vote for American Pie every year, and my wife hates that song. Right? You hate that song? I don't know if you can all hear her, but she's like, yeah, she hates that song. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant's a great song. I didn't vote for that. Actually, I don't think I voted for any Billy Joel. I said In My Life, yeah. Although Let It Be is really good too. My wife also does not like the Beatles. So the best Billy Joel song was definitely Piano Man. That was 15. And then Scenes at an Italian Restaurant. So yeah, that's a great song. The top 11 to 20 was tons of tri-state area here. We had Thunder Road, Bruce Springsteen at 20. You had Jungle Land, Bruce Springsteen, 17. Piano Man, Billy Joel, 15. And Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen, 13. I've heard from a lot of people online that the Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen songs get weighted much higher in this countdown because of the nature of the geographic location. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit. Like, are there 3 Bruce Springsteen songs in the top 20 of all classic rock songs of all time? Maybe, maybe not. But I would say definitely Born to Run is in there. So, yeah. There are a lot of Ramones. No, a lot of Ramones. There's a lot. A lot of Ramones in there. No Taylor Swift, though. No Taylor Swift. No, there's Bob Dylan's all over here, too. He's got a ton of songs. I know Like a Rolling Stone is on here. I didn't vote for any Pearl Jam this year. I know, I love Pearl Jam, and I didn't vote for any. They only have 10 songs. What are you going to do, you know? Bob Dylan, though, Like a Rolling Stone is in the top 100 for sure. Usually it's in the top 50. Though I'm looking off the top of my head, or just at the glance here, and I don't see it, but I know it's on here. It's somewhere. I'm not going to be able to look for it right now, but yeah. Oh, Dave's in the chat here. Dave, welcome. American Pie. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's great. So that was my weekend. I hope you all had a great weekend. Let's jump over to something else here. Ties right into it. A couple weeks ago, I was sent something by Robin's Nerd Supplies. I've been posting Robin's Nerd Supplies link in the Vecna chat, Vecna descriptions of all those videos. They sent me the Advent calendar. I think I showed this on one of the streams, but today is December 1st, so we're going to actually open up the Advent calendar right now live. I'll post links to that down below at the end of the video, but I've been posting them before, so you could probably check it out. Robin's Nerd Supplies. They sent me this, like I said, just out of the blue. They said, we want to send you one of these things in case you like it. I love it. It's great. Look at this. So it's cool. It's very thematic. It's got dragons and dice and things like that. And every day is different dice in the set. So I'm going to show it here, big right here. Okay. It's really cool looking. Day one is right here. So let's open it together. Let's see. I don't want to mess it up. Oh God. There it goes. Okay. And look at that right there. There it is. There's a D20. Starting it off with the D20. Let's take it out. Let's see it. Wow, look at this. Oh, it's actually a lot more like finished than I thought it was going to be. Like it feels like almost any other dice, like a Chess X, or like it has a good feel, like a solid feel to it. It's not like hand, or maybe it is. I actually don't know. Handmade or something like that, but it's definitely got something inside. It's got like a greenish dye inside, but it's only like, it's like kind of like a to one side mostly. And then it's got the logo for the place, Robin's Nerd Supply, that sleeping dragon right here. Look at that. Zoom, focus. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna. There it. Oh, kind of. Get in there. Maybe not, but you can get the gist of it. The whole die. It's got like glitter, sparkly something inside. It's very cool. Let's see how it rolls. Oh, it rolls great. Fantastic. Cool. Yeah. So what I've been told when they emailed was that it's gonna have like 3 full sets by the end of it. So I think maybe some of the days will have multiple dice in it. I guess there's 7 dice in a typical set. That's 21 days. No, that's not right. Maybe there'll be more than 3 sets, or maybe there's more. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken, but there's dice in each one. So every time we have a stream in the next month, basically, we're going to be opening up one of these at the start of it, just to see what it looks like, and at the end we'll showcase some pictures of all of the dice that came in it. So cool. Excellent. Thank you to Robin's Nerd Supplies. Excited for the next one. All right. Let's see. Change the music here. Okay. Let me know if it ever becomes too loud. All right, so a couple other things here. Was sent by one of the Patreon members, Bill Harvett. He sent me and if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Bill, please let me know. Let's see. Yeah, he sent me a whole slew of PDFs of his Shadowdark third-party supplements that he's made. I guess we call them. Yeah, you call them third-party. I don't know what you call this. I mean, it's basically a whole brand new zine, a magazine, kind of like how Kelsey created those dungeon zines that go along with Shadowdark. I think there were 3 of them. We used a lot of the content in it for even the Tomb of Horrors Tomb of Horrors stream. So some of the material in that was part of it. And the zines add a lot, I think, to the base game. It's kind of like add-ons in a way. It's kind of like a way to get extra content in. Because the base game is great. I trust me, I've played it a ton at this point. But it's fun to like add in a couple of other choices, some different classes, things like that. And this is another opportunity to do that. Tons of people have made third-party supplements for Shadowdark. It is, if you go and search on Kickstarter, you'll find people doing. I feel like every month there's something new for Shadowdark. And then just in the Shadowdark Discord or Shadowdark Facebook page, they have a ton of Shadowdark third-party content that people are just putting out there. Some for free, some people are selling. Of course, some is better than others. I even have made some third-party content in theory when I had Kelsey on and we ran Sweetheart Sanctuary, the Valentine's Day adventure. I posted that on my Patreon for free. You can check that out too. Link to Patreon is in the description. It's free. You don't have to be a patron to get it. But it was really cool because all of the work that you do for it's kind of like encouraged, right? Like Shadowdark basically even gives you a toolkit for like how to make your own stuff through its website, I think. And it's really easy to make Shadowdark content because all you have to do is really have an idea. Everything just goes into like kind of like it's not easy. I shouldn't say it's real easy. If you have the drive and determination to work on a very long project, make everything perfect, the company has basically made it easy for you to use their intellectual property in a way to kind of promote your stuff. That's what I mean. Making content for RPGs is not easy. People ask me if I would consider doing something like that, publishing adventures or publishing, content like that. And my answer is always kind of like, I just don't have the time or the desire to do it. Not that I don't think I could. I don't know. It's hard. Whenever I do make things of my own, I kind of use them for my own games, or in that case, that stream. And that's kind of the way that I use my own creative material. I also don't create it in a way that is perfect and easy for somebody else to run. It's kind of like my own thought process behind it. And when I have to do that, like what I did with the Sweetheart Sanctuary to publish that, I spent way more time than I wanted to trying to get everything perfect. But I wanted to just show off some of the things that Bill sent to me. I guess the zine is called Righteous Vow. I don't know if this is like a company of his or not. And if Bill, if you're in the chat or you're seeing this later, please comment down below. Let us know. But first off, just from the get-go, again, this is just the PDF. Very high level production quality. This looks like something that's produced for Shadowdark. Like it's really high quality. It's got original art. You can see it's got kind of like it's volume 1, so there's going to be more of these. I know he's working on a few more even as we speak. But it's basically a zine that adds to it. And you can even see, here's a attribution page. Takes a village, takes a village. But anyway, so just again showing it off real quick. This is the first magazine, so it goes in, just kind of gives you a description of what this is. They also give you a little bit of information about like this setting. I want to say it really is a setting, I think. But the Lich King Zardu is a main figure in this. And then it goes in table of contents, tells you about all the places. It's got its own like campaign, to be honest with you. It gives a hex map, which has tons of places to explore, different hideouts, things to go to, and each one of these locations comes with you can see here there's also the rumors, encounters, all that good stuff that comes with Shadowdark, but then also like every one of these places is keyed and has its own location. You've got its own monsters, own artwork, which is really cool. I know I'm going through this super fast, but I just want to make sure I touch on everything here. I don't want to spend too much time, but eventually I do want to maybe even run something from this, so that's going to be another reason why I don't really want to stop and chat about everything. I don't want to give everything away, but the artwork is so cool here. And then eventually, I'm going to scroll down. There's an adventure which takes you through levels 1 through 5. It's huge, like way more expansive than just a one-shot or even like a arc of a campaign. It's its own campaign. Each place has its own keyed rooms. There's maps that go along with each one. In fact, I think I have one of the maps open. Let me just briefly jump to it. Let's see. Do I have it open? I thought I did. Ah, yeah, here it is. So let's just go over to a quick photo. You can see all of the maps come, which I thought was really cool, is they come with these like black and white maps. I recognize that this is all done through Dungeon Draft. There might be some add-ons that he has that are specific or he purchased or made. I know you can kind of modify Dungeon Draft quite heavily, but this is Dungeon Draft, and maybe I got to ask if Bill's in the chat. Can this just a way to export it, just make or take all the color away? Because I think that's what he did here. But it adds to the tone and theme of Shadowdark, so it's really cool because the maps, even the one I made is in full color, and that does deviate a little bit from the maps that Kelsey makes, which are kind of more, it almost look like the Dyson logo type, the Dyson. Forget the hatch marks and stuff like that. Hers kind of looks almost like that in the same vein. This is definitely Dungeon Draft, but again, adding to that tone, it makes it more Shadowdarky when it's black and white. But they come with color options too, so it depends on, I guess, what you purchase or what you get. But I know that he had just started up this in October, so maybe a month ago, and you can purchase stuff through his site. And again, I probably should have put that in the description, but I'll put it down below. In the description once the stream is over. But yeah, really, really well done. Everything, like I said, keyed really well and obvious. I've looked through it now, a passing glance at everything. But just from what I've read so far, it looks really cool. And if you want to check it out, check out Righteous Vow. I know he's got a lot of stuff already available, so, and more in the works. There you go. So, now that we've got some of those things out of the way, like I said, I want to talk about some of the stuff people have sent me. I want to talk about the holidays. We went through that. Now let's talk about the games right now that are on the channel. So, we're going to go in line. This week, we're going to be doing Eldritch Castle on Tuesday, which is the Esper the Bard, Kickstarter that's still going strong. I think there's still another week or two left of that. And then I'm going to talk about Vecna, Eve of Ruin, and then we'll end with Curse of Strahd. So as we go through this, if you want to toss out a question, please do it. But we're going to keep the questions focused on those campaigns right now. I kind of want to touch on each one for like 10 minutes and then probably wrap up the stream. Keep it a little neat tonight if we can. But yeah, so now I'll put chapters down below at the end of this so we can actually navigate if you want to come back here. Yeah, Cam, you're right. Don't forget the hex crawl. You're talking about the one from Righteous Vow, right? Yeah, just the fact that there is a hex crawl in it too. I mean, a lot of the Shadowdark campaign zines do that too, so it kind of really does fit right into the art of it all. Yeah. Oh, look at this. We crawl club. That must be Bill. I think that's the case. Yeah. You're the only writer, but you have a team, editors and artists. Yeah, of course. It takes a village. Like I said, it's not easy to do this stuff. And Chris from Long Island, no Char Coalition update. Not necessarily, although maybe at the end we can have an open Q&A for any campaign. So, yeah. But for right now, let's focus. Number one, let's start with Eldritch Castle. I had a question before that said, where did the Eldritch Castle music come from? Because you're right, it's not tabletop audio. Love tabletop audio, and I definitely use it for a lot of things, even using it right now. Let's change the song, actually, while we're here. Let's go to Let's go to an oldie but a goodie. Mansion at Night. The Mansion at Night. It's good for a little investigating music. There we go. So the music for Espers is from Esper. The Eldritch Castle is basically when you join the Kickstarter, you're gonna get the PDF of the adventure. You're gonna get like those animated images. You're gonna get the soundtrack. You're gonna get everything, like everything that you need to run the adventure. And it's so cool that he included all this because, well, I mean, it's not so cool that's what the point of it, right? The point of the Kickstarter is to give everybody everything they need to run the adventure. But it seamlessly kind of just runs right into each other. It's like the music really fits. There's keyed locations for the music, so it's easy for the DM to find. Everything kind of just seamlessly goes with one another. And the animated images add a lot. Nate and Estelle and John have both told me that it's incredible to have those images. Like, not every D&D adventure needs to be or should be that way, but it's fun when some of them are. And we don't usually have that. Like, even with the official Wizards of the Coast stuff, the artwork's great in a lot of it, and yet having an animated piece of art, especially when you're looking for clues, investigating, it does make it a lot different. It's really awesome. Jay Tyler, welcome. You're late to the chat, but never late to the party. Thank you for coming and spending some time with us here. Yeah, it's really cool to have animated images that go along with the game, because it really makes it. I mean, I said this before on this chat, but on other streams, but it feels like a video game in the best way. You know what I mean? Like we don't want RPGs to be like video games, but when we add some cool elements of a video game to an RPG, it does make it feel like it's special. You know what I mean? And in the best way possible, having those animated images really adds to the immersion in that way. So Eldritch Castle's going strong. We've got 2 episodes under our belt. I think it'll take 4 or 5 episodes. If it takes 4 episodes, we will play this Tuesday, coming up the 3rd. We'll play the 17th, but then that's probably going to be it for till the new year, because from the 23rd week, that week of Monday the 23rd, there's just no time, right? Like, there's no time. Christmas Eve is 24th. Christmas is the 25th. It's a busy time for us, busy time for a lot of my players. We just won't be able to do it. We won't be able to come back. And then New Year's Eve is the next Tuesday. So really, once the 23rd week hits, we're not doing any stream. I'm going to take a full 2 weeks off completely. So it'll actually, I think my last stream should be Vecna Eve of Ruin on the 18th, and that should be the finale of Chapter 3. And then I don't come back again till January 7th. So it's going to feel almost like 3 weeks. And I know that feels weird because I usually do have a stream in the holiday time. But the way they fall this year is weird. And I do feel like, I need a break a little bit. A little bit of a break would be good for me. I've been going really hard at streaming this year, trying to make get everything in. And not that I don't feel burned out at all, but I am going to welcome the little break there. Plus, it gives me some time to work on some other projects. I really want to work on some possibly even the new edition of D&D work. I think I'm going to be doing some play testing of that off stream, and then I may want to do something on a stream with the new 2024 edition. I know that sounds a little like it sounds, I think a lot of people aren't too keen on the 2024 edition. And you let me know. Have you played it? Does it sound like it's something that you are interested in seeing? I mean, I'm going to do whatever I want anyway, but I just kind of want to see what your thoughts are of it. If it's something you're interested in seeing, because I mean, I'm going to do some of it. If it ends up being what we all want, then I'll probably do more of it. I've read through that book now, and I actually really like it. I mean, I haven't read every single detail. I haven't read every spell, but from what I've read, I really kind of like it. I mean, it feels like 5th edition, cleaned up a bit. I know some people are angry about the Wizards of the Coast in general. I know they're angry about like some of the decisions they made there, from like their I guess, in a way, even their ethics of some of the things. I know with the OGL drama that happened a long time ago, but look, it's it's the newest edition of D&D, and for better or for worse, I actually think it's a better game. I think, from what I've read now, again, just a player's handbook, it does change a lot of things that I didn't like about 5th edition. I didn't like how combat always felt kind of the same. Spells would be the only exception. Spells always feel different, but it feels like there are more roleplay options. There are more non-strictly optimal options that are cool, and I could see myself taking, even if I wanted to try to make a pretty optimal character. There are some cool roleplay choices that I would make that I feel like they would come in handy. It's not like sometimes the roleplay options are more like you don't feel like you'll ever get a chance to use them. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I feel like about some of the classes and some of the feats, is that they just don't feel like you're ever going to use them. And there's some of that in the book that happens. You can never get rid of that. But it also feels like they purposely try to make any sort of like roleplay or exploration feature feel like it's going to be useful. And again, I haven't played it yet, but it does feel pretty cool. And I also, and actually Greyhawk Exile, I was just about to talk about this, and you commented using Greyhawk as a sample campaign. Of course, you're biased, Greyhawk Exile, but it is cool. I love Greyhawk. It's I don't know that I would call it the first campaign setting that I played in, but I've talked about passionately how much I love the Living Greyhawk campaign, and how my favorite character of all time, my paladin Finn Cragen, he was from Kaeland. So I really enjoy the idea that we're going to be able to maybe use Greyhawk a little bit more than Forgotten Realms. Forgotten Realms has served its job. Like, it's been fantastic. I actually really enjoyed the Forgotten Realms, gotten to love it. And I'm not sick of it, but I think using Greyhawk will be really cool. And there are plenty of my players who never played D&D before playing with me. Trying to think, like Nate, Christian, John, all the people that like played in that Avernus campaign, none of them have ever played in Greyhawk. None of them don't even know anything about Greyhawk. And even though I tried to include Greyhawk as a pseudo setting for Supernatural 20, it was kind of like a setting, agnostic, sort of game. Dasha's had her paladin was a paladin of Pelor, but really for the most part, it's a really welcome to have Greyhawk back officially. Let's see here. Bill says they're using DMG. They're using 2014 until. Oh no, sorry, that was not. I'm losing my track of my chats here. Let's see here. Bill says we're still using 2014 in the group IDM, but I bought the PHB and DMG for 2024, and I like the character creation process. We'll see. Planning on switching for the next campaign. So yeah, I think a lot of people are in the same boat as me, right? Like, I have games going on. I'm not going to stop the games because the new edition came out, especially ones that are using older books and supplements. Like, I think if I do the new game, I kind of just want it to be the player's handbook, which is a little refreshing too. Like, there's so many choices in 2014 5e. 2024, if you just limit it to player's handbook, you really get a good feel for how the system works in its own little chamber. And that's why I think if I do something, it'll be very restricted just for this test run. And like I said, I'm going to do something off stream. I thought about maybe doing my first game of 2024 on the stream, but I just didn't have the time or ability to get that off the ground at the end of the summer with so much going on, my ACL surgery. So I figured I just won't do it. And at this point, there's plenty of people who have done one-shots or starting campaigns, other live plays. So I know I missed that boat. But I didn't want the first time to be on stream because I feel like I'm going to constantly be looking stuff up, knowing the rules so well, from 5e 2014 to now. I'm going to play something wrong. We're all going to stop and look it up. So I'm going to try to do something off camera and then come back to it in the next year. We didn't play that many new games this year. I know this is totally gone off of Eldritch Castle at this point. I said I was going to keep it tight, but I guess it's not. But we didn't really play that many new games. We did Viral for Call of Cthulhu, and we'll talk more about like the whole year overview when I do something during the holidays. That's true, actually. I will be streaming during the holidays, but it's going to be another live chat like this, doing my state of the channel, where I'll make more announcements for 2025. But we just did Viral and some Shadowdark. That was really it. Nothing really, I wouldn't say new game. We didn't really do too many new games this year, but I hopefully can do more in the future. So if you have any more questions about Eldritch Castle, put them in the chat now. But Eldritch Castle is pretty straightforward. We're soldiering on. We're going to be back Tuesday, and hopefully we can finish by the 17th. That would be ideal. If we could finish by the 17th, then Eldritch Castle will wrap up nicely, timely. Jay Tyler, did they announce plan for 2024 starter box for the future? I think they did, but I don't know if we have it yet or there's any like date for that. Cam Merkborg, yeah, Merkborg should come back for sure. Shadowdark, sure, absolutely. Shadowdark definitely is coming back. We're gonna do more Shadowdark for sure. But the other systems, that I have some other ideas in the works. Definitely can't talk about it now because it'd be way too early. But probably by next month, I should have some ideas about concrete plans for some other RPGs. Okay, so Eldritch Castle, continuing on Tuesday. Let's talk now about Vecna, Eve of Ruin. I have been so delightfully, I'm surprised by this game. I mean, I thought it was going to be fun, but I'm having way more fun than I thought I was going to. I mean, I definitely put in more work for Vecna, Eve of Ruin. Way more work than I've done for any campaign ever. But I think it's been so worth it. If you've watched any of the chapters, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's been so cool to see all these characters come back. This could never really be possible, except for a channel like this, because there's no way we would, at a home group, you'd have this many games, I feel like, with this many people. Even a West Marches or some sort of community game where there's people coming in and out could never feel like this, where you have these characters that have been just sort of like enshrined in like the history books, the lore of a group, and then to come back out of retirement, so to speak. And yeah, love it. D&D, DMM, absolutely love seeing the characters coming back. It's so cool. And I also think what's cool about it is that each chapter feels so different. They just feel like, the first chapter was setting everything up, but it had its own like stop the cult, stop the rituals sort of feel to it. And then, Vecna, seeing Vecna for the first time kind of sets the tone for the game. And then chapter 2, like I said, is like a spy espionage. Feels like there's a lot of like people backstabbing each other, and then of course that ending. Oh my god, that ending to the chapter was so cool. And the fact that what the characters do affects the other groups, like the fact that Cass could come here, and I was so close to potentially not getting that, right? Like, I mean, if Stefano had not, there could have been a fight for it. There could have been a way that they got it, but yeah, they didn't. And the failure is going to come back at some point. It's going to happen. I mean, it's going to come back to bite them. And however many more pieces they can get or not get will affect the outcome of the game. And this almost has a living campaign feel to it. Really, really enjoying it so much. I know Stefano's very sad about it, but it's all for good, Stefano. I think it's just going to add to the drama of the finale and everything, or to the final chapters. Yes, Percy will finish the job. Yeah, that's right. Percy will get it done. Then also, of course, this new chapter, Spelljammer, I mean, it brings me right back to Light of Xerxes. I mean, it feels like we're back with the crew. I know Percy's the only one that actually survived in some way, shape, and form, but it brings me right back to Light of Xerxes. I know we just kind of started the chapter, but they're in for a doozy. This next session is going to be really pivotal for the remaining two sessions. It's going to be great. yeah, what are your thoughts on Vecna so far? I mean, Vecna's been great, and I definitely want to make sure that Vecna doesn't miss a beat. It has to keep going. Like, we can't let up. The only time we're gonna break is this Christmas break coming up. The holiday break coming up. But we'll come back in January with chapter 4. February will be chapter 5. Sometime in March will be chapter 6, and it just keeps going. And we'll finish. Hopefully, I would love to finish it before like the end of July. That would be great. Get it done in the summertime, and have a real epic finale, and then feel good going into the fall. That'd be the goal for Vecna. And knowing what I know, it's really tough. I really want to tell you all these spoilers. I mean, every group is awesome. This group right now is awesome. Chapter 4 is a wild one. Chapter 4 is wild. Chapter 7 is wild. I mean, not like I said, not that there are no mixes that I'm like not thrilled about, but the content, the characters, it's gonna be so good. Gonna be so good. So yeah, that's Vecna, and then the last one we'll talk about tonight is Strahd. Really bummed that we missed this episode of Strahd because we were looking at the calendar. We just don't think we can possibly fit in a Strahd game at any time until its next scheduled game, which is going to be the 10th. So December 10th will be the next Strahd game. And then because of, again, where the holidays fall, that's going to be our last session of the year. We started in October. We basically had one episode in October, right at the end. We had one episode in November, and that's it. One in December. So only 3 episodes in the end of this year. But you know what? Honestly, it was hard. I wanted to get Eldritch Castle done because like I said, Esper reached out to me and he had the Kickstarter going on. I didn't want to like not do it when the Kickstarter was going, so I did that, and that kind of it forced us to kind of like work like Strahd could have had some flex days, but I wanted to get Eldritch Castle in there, and I think Eldritch Castle has been really good, so I'm totally cool with that. Starting in January, once Eldritch Castle is done, Strahd will be going every week, so we'll have Strahd going Tuesdays and Vecna going Wednesdays, and that's basically going to be the spring. The summer, like I said, Strahd's gonna have a season. Strahd's gonna have season 2, and it's gonna finish, like I said, probably springtime. Kind of similar trajectory as it was last time. Even though we missed a few weeks, we didn't get into full steam until January. It still should be able to go 4 episodes in January, 4 episodes through February, 4 episodes through March. Again, excluding a day here or there. By the time we get to May, we should probably have 20 plus episodes in the bank, and that would be season 2. And I guess maybe this is a bit of a... I guess maybe this will be a bit of a spoiler then, but we're probably going to have season 3 of Strahd too. So probably by May, January to May will be 20 sessions of Strahd, no doubt. Right? That's what's going to happen. 20 sessions Strahd from January to May. We're not going to really miss much. A week here or there because of vacations, breaks, things like that. But whatever, if it's a typical week, we're doing it, and that's going to be season 2, and then we'll probably have season 3, which will be the final season, I would imagine. That'll start again in October. So 2025 is probably going to be the way Strahd ends. The way Strahd, the schedule will go that way, and we'll finish whenever season 3 is over. Questions about Strahd, let him rip right now. Stefano says 2025 will be the year of Strahd. You got it. Yep, absolutely. It's going to be awesome. Jay Tyler, I did figure out the audio issue. It was settings that I don't usually touch, but one of them got turned on. Instead of just streaming everything through my voice mod, I ended up streaming it both through my mic and voice mod, which kind of like how I used to do it through my mic. It ended up duplicating the echo. Then I switched a bunch of things in Zoom to try to figure it out, but it wasn't Zoom. It was my own audio stuff, my mic stuff. So anyway, is what it is. But we got it. We're back. Curse of Strahd is also still catching up on the game, hoping to catch up by January so I can watch semi-live. That'd be awesome if you are someone who has watched some of it. This is, even though we hadn't only 3 episodes, this we're gonna have 3 episodes by the end of the year. That is a good point. It can get people to catch up. So that is the saving grace of the silver lining, so to speak. That people who were like, oh my god, the season started already. Now I can get back. Let's see. A couple of other things here. Tasman, sad that it'll be the last episode till after the holidays, but even though the Echo thing kind of worked for giving Strahd a creepy vibe, I can understand it being difficult. Yeah, appreciate everybody sticking on with that one. Curse of Strahd it's got, in terms of, and I don't really like to talk about the streams in terms of like numbers. I don't really look at the games through like the lens of like what's good for YouTube. But obviously Strahd has been a really good stream for the channel. It draws more viewers than probably any other game. Even Keep on the Borderlands, I started Keep on the Borderlands when the channel was very young still. It was only like a year into the channel when I started it. So it didn't get as big of a following, I think, right from the beginning. It became a fan favorite for sure, and people have gone back and caught up on it. New people to the channel go to it. It's definitely one of the more popular games. But Curse of Strahd has the brand name recognition. It's a more current module. People still play it. Not that people don't play Keep on the Borderlands. And now with the 2024 game being set in Greyhawk, who knows? We might have. I think Keep on the Borderlands was supposed to be something to do with a starter set or an adventure coming out. So maybe Keep on the Borderlands will have another revival. But we played it already. But Strahd does well, really well. And once I think we get back into the swing of things, we'll be good. I hate to do anything that will like mess up a stream, but that's why when this audio thing happened, I was really angry with myself because how did I let that happen? But we're gonna be back strong in the new year for Strahd for sure. Hopefully everybody comes back and the Strahd games won't miss a beat from the audio issues. Let's see some more Strahd questions here. Chris from Long Island, not ducking you, promise. But we'll talk about some Char Coalition in a minute. Let's see here. Hieronymus is my spirit animal. Yeah, a lot of people I think feel that way. Chris has got a way with that character for sure. Yeah, Fritz is just, he's so busy. It's hard for him to stick on because he's got his own channels. He does all of his martial arts. So he's one. People think I'm busy, and that's for sure. I definitely put a lot on my plate. Fritz is also very busy. Strahd is riding Borderlands momentum. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Definitely people who watched Borderlands then went into Curse of Strahd. I think so, for sure. For sure. Triple Gert, you've watched it 3 times. Wow, that's incredible. You probably remember things better than I do then. If I didn't have notes on my end, I probably wouldn't remember it nearly as well. But playing through it, definitely you get a lot of the memories stick a little well when you play it. But that's incredible. 3 times through, it's awesome. I know some people have definitely done that. I've seen people go through back and forth. Chris Mangan has done that as well. Jay Tyler says the crew in your Call of Cthulhu game was fun too. You mean Viral, I think, right? The Viral one. Although I guess Dasha and John were both in Mr. Corbett and that. Call of Cthulhu is definitely coming back. I just don't know exactly when yet, but that's coming back. Chris from Long Island, does Fritz run D&D campaigns? Well, he used to, for sure. I've played in some of his games in real life. Or I should say real life, in our home games, well before the channel. That was weird. I just wanted to say well before, and I hit the mic. He doesn't run games now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he runs anything right now with that. He does a lot of other games on his channels though. BattleTech. Is Robotech a thing? Is that different, or am I just confusing BattleTech with Robotech? BattleTech. He does. Obviously the Warhammer videos and things like that. Yeah. Let's see here. Are you running Strixhaven with Curse of Strahd? Joseph Snyder. Strixhaven. Strixhaven is the campaign, right? Or campaign setting? I don't believe so. Oh wait, are you mean for like Silvery Barbs, perhaps? Because Strixhaven, I think, that's where Silvery Barbs came from. A lot of people don't like Silvery Barbs. I don't care about Silvery Barbs as a DM. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I just don't care about a lot of player sided things. I almost don't think they really matter. I know Silver Barbs can feel backbreaking to a lot of DMs. Like you feel like the characters just can't. But I don't know. They can't die. Is what a lot of people feel like. I do fine killing people. Bob, how do I select my music for the streams? Yeah, I guess we'll open it up to any questions here. Questions about Call of Cthulhu, other games, other campaigns we've run. So music. So in tabletop audio. Oh, I just see another question here real quick. Cam W just said, is the Hangout on Discord gone? You mentioned it earlier, but I don't see it on the channel anymore. That's weird. Okay, so there, you know what? Maybe there. I'm gonna come back to this question in a second. I'm not forgetting it. I have some thoughts on this. Okay. Let me come back to that question. But the music, I don't want to forget this one. So music. Right now I'm at tabletop audio. Actually, I guess I could go to tabletop audio here. Let me just bring it up real quick. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, tabletop audio is a online streaming. It's through your browser. It's very easy to use. Simple. It's not something too confusing. You don't need like special equipment. You literally just jump into your browser and play what you want. Let me switch it over here. So yeah, here's tabletop audio. You can see absolutely, like, it's easy to just be like, you know, you can go to this is their main screen, so you can see everything here, and I'll just turn the music off for a second. This is what it looks like when you come in. It's very easy to see. You just scroll down, and it's all these cool tracks. It's all, I wouldn't say royalty free, but basically the user agreement just says, like, you know, you can use it, your own discretion. You can't claim it's your own. I link it always in the description, you know, things like that. You don't own the stuff. I don't pretend to own it or anything like that. And they're not a sponsor of the channel at all, but really cool. Love the channel or love this tool basically. And you could pick any of these from you want, and you just click on one of them and hit play. There you go. It adds to it. Now, as we've gone through this, you can even search by like genre, setting, modern, historical, sci-fi, and kind of sorts it for you. And then what I've done is I just make my own playlist. So you log in, make an account or whatever, and then you go to your queue. You can go to playlists, and you can see I've got ones here for all my games. Oh, actually, you don't see it. I'm looking at it on the stream, and you don't see it. But there's a drop-down box here. But you can see my first one, which says Keep on the Borderlands. So there you go, Keep fans. I have a Keep playlist. I just kind of add these to the playlists and save them, and then kind of fit it to the theme. I try to take a bunch of like combat-oriented ones. I try to take ones that are less, you know, more like social side of things. And I try to have a bunch of each within a game. You might have heard some of the same ones before, like some of the fighting combat ones, because, you know, there's only so many combat-y things you can put in there. But when it comes to like the ambient music, something that I want to just like have a feel, I definitely look for whatever genre it fits. You know, for the Icewind Dale game, I had like one that was like Outpost 31. It had a very much like John Carpenter's The Thing vibe to it, a synth, like a heavy synth, and like just kind of like that eerie, like Arctic. You're lost in the Arctic, sort of, or Antarctic in that case. Whatever it might be, you know, that's how I choose my stuff. I kind of go through tabletop audio, make my playlist based on the genre, save it, and then I've got them all saved in my queue as each one. So whenever I'm doing a stream, I open up, you know, that specific music. So let's jump to the idea about the Hangout. Okay, I'm not the most tech savvy person. That sounds weird. I'm streaming to you right now. I've been running a live play stream. I've learned a lot within the niche, and that's it. I don't know a lot about Discord. A friend of mine, he was in the chat earlier. His name's Dave. He helped me set up everything from the beginning. Like he helped me with all of my tech stuff. I mean, my headset stuff that I got through him. He helped me build my PC. He's been a lifelong friend. He's done everything. Shout out to Dave. Channel wouldn't be here without Dave. He set up the Discord for me too. I never really used Discord before the channel, and it's really cool. I really like what Discord can do, and I definitely use about a tenth of what Discord is capable of. Some other friends of mine actually have their own Discords for things, and they do way more cool things. Like you can even organize games, and there's tons of stuff there that's I'm not using. When I set up Patreon, Patreon wanted to give like special Patreon Discord benefits. Like you get a title, and there's only some things that are accessible to those people. You get like they're called, I think, adventurers are anybody that agrees to the rules becomes an adventurer. Anybody that joins the Patreon becomes a warrior, and so on and so on. And if you're one of my players, you're a hero, and all these different things we created at the beginning. So I know that all those titles then have to be like added to channels. And I've noticed how sometimes people switch on and off, even though they were a patron, and they switch back to like adventure or something like that. You let me know, like really, and you can go to Discord and let me know. Are there things you're not seeing if you're a patron or you're not a patron? Um, there's also some other people I think aren't as savvy with Discord too, and that's totally fine. I've made this mistake as well. If you go into the Discord and you go to like Hangout, there's a thing above it says Tabletop Ob Discussion. If you click on that drop down tab, it takes away everything. Like it hides it all. So if you were in that Tabletop Ob Discussion and you just accidentally an errant keystroke, hit it, mouse click or whatever, it'll take all of them away. And it just kind of makes it neater for you. But we have public channels, the announcements channel, Tabletop Bob discussion, guide series discussion, current campaigns, all this stuff. And if you look in there, just make sure it's all there. It should all, like I said, all those things that I just listed are there. Public channel, announcements, Tabletop Bob discussion, DM guide series, current campaigns, and finished campaigns. And there's also the voice channels, which rarely use. But all of those things are available, should be available to everybody. The only ones that are very unique are like my Patreon campaign, which is in current campaigns, and only people are added to that if they're in that Patreon tier. Shout out to the Patreon group. That group has been going strong for now closer to like 2.5, 3 years, I think. Yeah, that group's been awesome. Yeah. It's full. It's been full. I only recently had, I think we've had 2 or 3 people join in to the group since creation of it. So it's been a core of like 2 or 3 people the whole time. Shout out to Joseph, James, Steve. You guys have been great. Victor, Elizabeth, really, really great. Let's see here. Okay. Any other questions? Last ones here. So, Chris, I'll talk about Char Coalition. Before we did In Search of the Unknown, and I feel like I've mentioned this. Before we had In Search of the Unknown, I actually was going to just run a full-blown Keep on the Borderlands sequel campaign. It was just going to be, it was just going to be the next thing, the next campaign. But then Vecna Eve of Ruin was announced, and I went on a deep dive into Vecna Eve of Ruin and wanted to make that work. So I ended up pausing the plans for that. We did In Search of the Unknown as a quick little filler just to get everybody's favorite, Keep crew back. Then we jumped, and I tied it right into Vecna Eve of Ruin, as most of you know. So for that, in that case, I still have the campaign idea that I want. It's coming. I just cannot say it now. And I probably won't even be able to say it at the December one, because it's just going to be it can't happen until after Vecna Eve of Ruin finishes, because the key characters are tied up in Vecna Eve of Ruin right now. So unfortunately, there's really just nothing. I got nothing for you. If I say it now, it'll just ruin the surprise. Then people will ask about it, and it's just gonna wait. It's got to wait. It's on the shelf, but I have an idea. Unfortunately, it is not Castle Amber. I've made that joke a few times for. It's not Castle Amber. I know. It's a great game, but we're not playing Castle Amber here. Not yet. Not saying never say never, but it's not something we're doing yet. But I'm going to keep that a little close to the chest right now, because I'll probably do it in the summer state of the channel. I do like a summer chat where I kind of talk about things too. We'll probably talk about the next Keep game then, especially when Vecna's wrapping up and I have actual start dates, things like that. You know. But I know everybody wants to see them back because, like I said, they kind of captured everybody's hearts and in the channel. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great when they get to it. It'll be great. Right now, all the focus is on Vecna. Got to get Vecna done, and that'll kind of like tie a nice little bow on our 5th edition, content. Not saying we'll never go back to it, but it's going to be like that was the end of our 5th edition sort of runs, campaigns. I guess I shouldn't say that. Curse of Strahd's still going to be 5th edition, but Curse of Strahd it's still going. That's current. This is kind of like ties a bow on all of our previous 5th edition campaigns. So Keep is, yes, it's coming most likely in the fall. Yeah. If again, I'm not promising anything yet. Can't give a start date to something that's like a year away, but hopefully by the summer I will have a better idea of where and when that's going to be. So soon. Let's see here. Cam noticed. So all the Discord channels seem to be on for you. Good. And you notice that you're only a warrior. Other people seem to have both. That may have something to do with it. So Cam, you're a warrior because you're on the Patreon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The Patreon members become warriors, and then if you just go into Discord and you like click on the agree, you agree to rules, that makes you an adventurer. If you don't agree to all the rules or something like that, you're just a I don't even know what I don't know what you're called. But if you just jump into Discord, you don't have any title till you agree to the rules, then you're an adventurer, and then you become warrior with Patreon. And then if you're a player, hero, and some people are moderators and things like that. But that's basically it. Yeah. If you haven't done so already, though, join the Discord. Like, it's great. I really want it to be more of a place where people can hang out and chat, talk about the games. I know a lot of you that are in this chat right now are already in there. You talk about it quite a bit, talk up the games. But I would love discussions like we're having right now. I would love for more of that to go in there. Ask the players questions, get them, involved. That's all good stuff. And I think the more people that join the group will be better. So if you're not in Discord, do it now. Just jump in. There's a link down below. Get in the Discord. It's really cool. The other ways you could support the channel, if you want to more directly support the channel, Patreon is probably one of the best ways. Patreon's been really great. I mean, I've talked about this on the streams before, but like the idea that I don't have to like pay for anything that I want to put out the content is super helpful. The first like 2 years of the channel, any book, whether it was Icewind Dale, Keep on the Borderlands, the Goodman Games one, the Roll20 for all of these games. So you buy the book and then you have to buy the Roll20. They're not really affiliated. D&D Beyond material, because that makes the games a little more seamless and quicker paced. All those things are things that I just purchased because I really enjoyed what we were doing. I didn't really care. And the Patreon kind of opened up my eyes. People were telling me I should do it, and I was like, I don't really want to do it, but it's been so good to have like all that stuff taken care of. Like I didn't have to pay for Vecna Eve of Ruin. I didn't have to pay for the Roll20 of it. All the stuff on D&D Beyond for it. That's the month's Patreon. It's great. things that I want to upgrade. You know, I'm upgrading like voice mod, Stream Deck, things like that, microphones, cameras. I've given microphones and cameras to the players who don't have great audio or great video. So like all this stuff, it all actually is making everything better. You probably have noticed actually if you look at an old Icewind Dale stream, right? Even the quality of all that has been better than like from now till then. It's or from then till now, it's night and day better. Audio's better, video's better. You know, I upgraded the camera. Everything has just gotten so much better. And it's all been things that I kind of purchased, right? I've kind of just made those purchases, and so the Patreon really helps. Kofi is great, and whatever I never ask. I don't want to ask for things. I hate trying to solicit for stuff. But if it's something you like and you enjoy, Patreon is there. It's a direct way to support. Kofi is another direct way to support in a single time. But honestly, the best thing to do is just watch the material. The subscribers have gone up, the watch time has gone up, all this stuff has gone up. I know live play channels, especially I don't have the most savvy with YouTube. I know, I definitely could do YouTube a lot better. Market myself a lot better. But if you enjoy the content and you want to keep seeing it go on, just sharing it, right? Like liking, subscribing, doing all the things YouTube wants. Because live play channels, there are so many of them now. I think a lot of people decided they could do it. And this is no knock on other live play channels, but there are people that just kind of throw their stuff out there. And then there's people who spend a lot of time, like us, getting kind of like the best we can out there. All our players, things like that, they put a lot of their time and effort into it. And Stefano's here right now. I see him chatting, but I'll just, every one of us, we all do. We're not professionals at this. We just we do our it's the way we would normally play, outside of this. And so any sort of like, sharing, liking things, I try not to do it in the streams, but it helps YouTube significantly. Yeah, and so Stefano, I see your question here, and I think the chat's doing a good job answering it. But Curse of Strahd was not the first game released. It was, I think, yeah, I guess people are saying it's the third. But they had the Princes of the Apocalypse, and I think Tyranny of Dragons. Well, Tyranny of Dragons was definitely first. And you've played Horde of the Dragon Queen. Prince of the Apocalypse, I never played either. Most people haven't. I think it got bad reception when it first came out. Let's see. Was Out of the Abyss before Strahd, though? I thought Out of the Abyss came out before Strahd, but maybe I'm wrong. Out of the Abyss came out in September 2015, and Curse of Strahd came out in March 2016. I was right. So yes, it's the fourth game, I guess. If you consider Horde of the Dragon Queen, Tyranny of Dragons is separate. The Rise of Tiamat came out way later, but yeah, it's different. D&D DM Mom, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You've been patron now for a while, and appreciate the compliments. It shows. I feel like our games are like. I feel like our games are really good. And this is like not even. I'm really trying not to be biased. Like I like live play games. The reason I started a live play channel. Well, actually, the channel kind of morphed. It was going to be a lot of different things, I think. It was going to be live play. It was going to be guides, and the guides ended up being so much harder to produce. But the live play has been something that I wanted to put out there because I like live play channels. I watched a lot of the Dice Camera action when it was a thing. Glass Cannon Network's definitely one of my favorite channels. Love what they do. And I've watched a bunch of different games, like campaigns on different live plays, and the level of quality of all of it, it varies from place to place. But I think we have such a cool group, unique characters, players. I feel like everybody here takes the game seriously, but not too seriously. It feels like, and I hope it comes across as a feeling like what you would, like if you were just hanging out with your friends playing games. That's kind of like the vibe I've always wanted. So. Appreciate that, Tasman. Appreciate the kind words again. Yeah, we do have a lot of cool chemistry. I think Chris from Long Island. I think the fact that we all just kind of knew each other before playing games helps. Like even CJ, right? Like I knew CJ before I played D&D. He was coming to my gaming club. Sorry, not before I played D&D. Before we played D&D together. Um, CJ, I've known for a long time. Out of all the players on the channel, he's probably one of the longest ones. But I knew him. I knew him before we played D&D together. And I think that also helps, just knowing people, like having this like relationship before D&D. It does kind of make a difference with the chemistry you have, and why I like to play with a lot of people that I know personally. It's just a lot more fun that way. Yes, D&D DM people in the chat are a lot of fun. The chat is great. We have some of the best I think live chats. Like I know that in terms of like our numbers watching, like typically on a Chris Strahd night, we might have somewhere in the 30s on a decent day. Vecna, I know, has had a lot more recently, but that's the start of the campaign, start of the chapters. I think start of Vecna, we had closer to like 60 or something in our first chat, things like that. But I know that our streams aren't like the biggest numbers in terms of like number, number of viewers at one time, but we have a great community, really. Lot of fun, and the fact that we all kind of like get to know each other so much more that way, it's really a lot of fun. CJ is not a teacher, but he does play one on TV. Just kidding. He works in a school, but he's not a teacher. Chris though is. Chris is a teacher. Chris from Keeping the Borderlands. Yeah, a lot of teachers. I know. We're all teachers. Tasman, yeah, a lot of streams do try to emulate Critical Role and Dimension 20 and like all those like, really professional quality streams. And I'll be honest with you, I've watched probably more Critical Role than most people typically have. I've watched good stretches of campaigns here. I've definitely rewatched some of the older big moments and stuff like that. I respect a whole lot what they do. But that's their job. Like if my job 24/7 was, or just 24/7, Monday through Friday was the stream, you'd have a lot better of a product. But it's not something that I really want to take to that level. I mean, if it gains success, great. But I mean, I'm just kind of happy putting the work that we do out there, just streaming our games and having fun. Like, I feel like when the game feels like a business, it ends up not being so much fun. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a studio. I'd love to have multiple cameras, independent mics for each character. Somebody running the stream would be so nice. I also just don't know enough about the technology. Maybe there could be somebody running the stream other than me. Like right now, I'm doing it all, and I've been doing it that way since the beginning. But I know other streams have people behind the scenes, behind the cameras that like do stuff even remotely. So I don't know. Maybe in the future that would be something to do if it was making enough money. Have somebody do that. But I don't know. I feel like also for me, I want to do it too. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I have a great D&D heart, even though I dropped the ball with Castle Amber. Look, never say never. Never say never. But not right now. Jay says the barbecue live stream this year was fun to see a bunch of players together. Yeah, it's always fun. That's why, one of the reasons why I do that is because I just want to do something fun for the players. I mean, they commit a lot of their time and their effort. They're always well prepared. I think we have one of the largest crews of players that consistently really like put their heart and soul into it in any live play channel. Like most live play channels are like 5 friends, and that's great. And maybe they have guests here or there, but when do you see like 20 plus rotating character or cast members? That like doesn't happen. And I feel bad sometimes I feel bad because like we do have quite a few players in committed games, and some players are, they're when I started the channel, I had ideas with them in mind for a game, and so they've kind of stayed on longer than others. But I do love getting new people on all the time, people that I know in real life. Again, back onto the channel. So the barbecue is always special because it's fun to have them all come together. It's like kind of like Vecna, worlds collide. But yeah, we'll try to get more people on the channel in 2025. Want to get some of the people who aren't on some of the current campaigns into some one shots, things like that. Get people who are maybe like right now they don't have a role on something, get them back in. But like I said, most people are going to come back for Vecna. Like there are handful of people that are just like they came on once or twice. Some of the Warhammer players who play D&D, they're obviously not going to be here, but for that, but like the people who've been in campaigns, they're all coming back. Like everybody's come back. So, let's see here. I'm glad we bring everybody laughs. That's for sure. We try not to take things too seriously here. I think we have a good amount of like role play, humor, silliness, and then like combat. I think we try to like bridge the gap between all three pillars of live play. The players are the secret sauce, 100%. Lost City would be awesome. I can't tell you how long I've had the Lost City book sitting in my my Warhammer dungeon basement. It's been there. Trust me. Lost City's something that's on a queue of mine to get through. I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard. There's not enough time. Like I said, if I ended up doing this, if this was my job, I definitely would have a lot more content of that sort for you. But all right, so last couple of, if you have any other questions or comments, things like that, general stream things, we'll jump into them. But we'll wrap this up in the next few minutes here. I'm gonna get to bed, have physical therapy in the morning, which I'm always happy about. I love physical therapy, but I gotta get up early because I do it before work. Let's see. Jay Tyler, will we see Lute's flute in the future? Jordan will be back for sure. He's obviously going to reprise his role as Casimir at some point. Who knows when that's going to happen? Will it be this season again? Will it be later next season? I don't know, but he'll be back at some point in the future. Will he be in anything else? Who knows? I would love to get some of the other D&D YouTubers back on. I mean, it's been a minute since Esper's been on the channel, and I've been on his channel a few times since he was on. That's a long time. We should get him back on if he's available. Some of the DM, what's it called? Oh God, the roundtable crew. Would love to have either host a roundtable again or get on one of their roundtables and do something. They still pump out material, so hopefully that would be the case. Stefano says, "Do we have to go to work tomorrow?" Yes, unfortunately, we do. We do. We do. We just had a whole 5-day weekend though, so I can't complain. Chris Romano, but what is your favorite module when you started playing back in the day? When I started playing D&D, we actually never ran modules. I think a lot of people say that. They say like they never really ran modules, or the Keeping the Borderlands might have been the exception to those really old OG players, like the people who started right at first edition, or maybe that was the case. But for a lot of people, I think I've heard that too. They didn't play modules. Modules definitely came more into favor, I think, with third and fourth edition. I mean, I know there are some classic modules, obviously, classic modules from first edition and AD&D and second and all those other iterations. I know there's obviously great ones there, but modules were shorter. I think back then as a whole, like you could do a quick run. Plus the rules were quicker, so like combats didn't take as long. You got through and you played usually for like 4 hours, I'd say, or maybe a whole night you'd play back in the day. I feel like that's different nowadays. Nowadays it's like, I shouldn't say that. For me, it's different. Maybe it's not for most people to play. Well, like kids nowadays, like I don't know how kids these days, I don't know. I don't know what the standard thing is for people who are just starting D&D now, who are, maybe like their teens or early 20s, just getting into the game. I don't know what people do nowadays, but I feel like modules, as being like the campaign, are relatively new, more modern D&D. Like you might have played Keep on the Borderlands, but then took your group to, you know, something else. Took, whatever, I don't know, I can't think of an example right now, but Castle Amber or something like that. Maybe you played your characters in Ravenloft, or maybe you just did, quick little run-ins with those campaigns. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Some of you lived through it. I was born in '87, so I didn't play any of those old campaigns. But we played homebrew. That's what we did. We usually took turns. My friends, you know, would be DM, and then we'd kind of switch it off. If somebody had an idea, they would do it. I am familiar with the Lost Caverns of. I'm not. I always never know how to pronounce it though. Sojkanth. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm familiar with the module as a in general. Um, but yeah. So like that was just a comment. We would definitely not play modules, but then when I played living campaigns, we did the Living Greyhawk, and that was, I mean, we traveled to conventions, we played in those things, and that's kind of like where my love of modules came into play, because I like the idea of this idea of like a shared experience, like the idea that I could play a game and then somebody across the country or across the world could have played it, and then when we chat about it and be like, oh yeah, you played in that one, yeah, I played, that was awesome. And that happened a lot in living campaigns. You go to a campaign and somebody would say, have you played these ones? And I'd be like, no, not yet. And they'd be like, oh, you got to get this one in the weekend. And, you go to a campaign for like 3 days or a convention for 3 days, and you'd be like, you hear which ones were cool and go do it. And so I think that kind of got my love for like modules. And so then after third edition, I started to play, especially in fifth edition, wanted to play all the modules. Like I really wanted to play every module. I started Tyranny of Dragons, never finished it. Did Curse of Strahd, finished it, and did a bunch of other games within fifth edition. And then obviously on the channel, I played a bunch. Played a bunch of games here. So love it. Love the community aspect too. Love how people add to it. Love that there's like a whole subreddit on Curse of Strahd that's got tens of thousands of people contributing to it, making the game even better. Like that stuff I really love. Really love it. Let's see what I miss here. Tasman, did the storm slam you guys? Yes, we had a storm, but it was before Thanksgiving. I think it was the Monday or Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We had snow and really crazy wind, and I must have moved on up to you for the holiday. So Stefano's lying when he said no. We did have, it wasn't terrible, but it was definitely out of nowhere. We had snow and heavy winds. Kupo says 8-hour Saturday streams. When? What's that? I don't know. Maybe I missed a chat earlier. Big transmission and substation design project to finish for the end of the year. So yeah, lots of work to do this week. Cam, get your projects done. Get them all done so you can watch our live streams. Tasman always ran early game, low-level starting modules to base a campaign off of when I would DM. Yeah, those are great. Like I said, Keeping the Borderlands is great for that. A lot of the old modules are low levels. Jay Tyler says, yes, modules are shorter than books being presented now. Definitely. I mean, Keeping the Borderlands is like 30 pages or 40 pages. Not long at all. It's really what you add to it, what you make of it. And then finally, here, a couple other things here. Jay Tyler says, an AD&D original guy, we mainly had homebrew and would drop modules into the world. Yeah, I've heard that's pretty popular. Chris Romano says there's a Spider Queen one that's well regarded. Yeah, that's actually, I think, it's either the best or it's in the top 3 for sure. I think they had the Dungeon Magazine rank them all, or Dragon Magazine rank them all at some point back in the day. I think I did some community posts about that before. That one was like the number 1. So maybe at some point we'll run into those. But for right now, like I said, going to keep all the projects close. We know it's coming up in the next few months. We know what's going on from now through till the summer, with maybe some little things sprinkled in. But for the most part, it's going to be Strahd and Vecna. Strahd and Vecna. So yeah, stay tuned and do me a favor, everybody. If you haven't jumped in, um, please do jump into those old those like I said those campaigns right now. Vecna, Strahd, jump into the things we've already done. Um, because I want to get those views up. I know we've been kind of a little sporadic with the Strahd stuff, but go back and give it a like if you haven't done so. Go into those videos that we dropped so far. I don't want to lose steam. I don't want people to get their Strahd updates buried from the algorithm because we did it so sporadic. So jump in, go into old games, things like that, and there's going to be a lot more coming in the next few months. Updates, things like that. So stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the good stuff. Appreciate everybody here. Appreciate all the support to our D&D, to our YouTube members, people with the stars after their names. Appreciate all your support. People who are patrons, your names are going to show up on the stream at the end. Always appreciate the support and everything that you've all brought to the community here. Links below to everything will be below to everything we talked about, and we'll see you all on the tabletop. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.